For me, Captain America represents a lot of different things, and I don't think the term, America should be one of those representations. Like, it's about.
Stop! Stop! He's already dead.
Got him, sir. No! I gotta get him. Get him!
Captain America Brave New World is a movie that exists, and I will never think about it ever again after I do this review. I'm actually kind of annoyed that I have to think about it as much as I've been thinking about it. There were some rumors going around about this movie. There was a ton of rumors actually surrounding this movie. And a lot of them ended up not being true. But I'm not trying to judge it for the rumors. I'm trying to judge it for what it is. And what it is, if I had to think of a word, inconsequential. As soon as this movie, I was done watching this movie, my brain was like, okay, well, get it out. We don't need it. And I was like, wait, hold on. I need to remember some of this stuff because I need to write a review. It is a little bit dull. It entertains you sometimes, but it's fine. Okay. It might be like a one step below fine. So, but I guess I still have to keep talking about this movie. So one saving grace. And the only reason, if I had a gun to my head and someone was like, okay, you have to watch the Marvels or watch Captain America Brave New World again, I would probably choose Brave New World only because of Harrison Ford. He's actually in it a lot more than I was thinking he was going to be in it. And that doesn't mean that Red Hulk is going to be in it a lot, because he's not, which you probably already knew. But no, Red Hulk's barely in it. And what I find kind of funny, though, about this, that Harrison Ford is the best part of this movie, is I bet you Harrison Ford went into work every day, probably gave like 60%, and somehow just pushed out like the best performance in the movie. And also, Harrison Ford probably has not a clue who any character is in this movie. I bet you anything that Harrison Ford doesn't know anything about Sam Wilson, doesn't know who he is, probably doesn't care. I bet you anything that Harrison Ford probably doesn't even know who his character is supposed to be, or the role that his character plays in the comics or anything like that. In the movie, Harrison Ford's character is talking about his daughter Betty, and that Betty was mad at him for sending the army after her boyfriend. I bet you Harrison Ford has no idea who that is, who he sent the army after, and I don't think he cares.
I don't care.
Because you know how Harrison Ford is. He seems like he really doesn't like that nerdy stuff. Whenever people try to talk to him about nerdy stuff, he's just like, who cares? That's why he scares me.
Shut the up!
Does that mean that this movie is saved by Harrison Ford? No, it's not like saved by him or anything like that, but he was the most enjoyable part about this movie. Now let me talk about my biggest problem with this movie, and that is the main character of Sam Wilson. So Sam Wilson was introduced in the Marvel movies as a supportive character. He was a side character. And honestly, if they really wanted him to take up the shield and be Captain America, they should have taken the steps to develop him into a more solid character that would be able to lead his own film. Because the character of Sam, he just doesn't really have that main character energy. Like, there are some characters that just demand their own story. They demand their own movie. And I just don't feel like Sam has that. Think about Hawkeye. Hawkeye's been around since Thor. So he's been around since almost the very beginning, and he's never gotten his own movie. And the thing is, even though I like Hawkeye, probably more than most people, I never wanted a Hawkeye-led movie. And nobody was clamoring for one, really, because he's just not really a character that demands his own movie, at least not in the Marvel films.
So, I guess I'm done, right? All right, I'll be in the car. Stay safe.
And that's kind of how Sam is. And I would even argue that Sam actually is less developed than Hawkeye. I think a Hawkeye movie would actually work a little bit more than a Sam Wilson movie. I just don't think he works as a main character. I don't find him very interesting. For one, he doesn't hum off like Captain America. He doesn't have the super serum. He's got these wings. He uses a lot of tech. He has this Wakandan armor. He has like this tech helmet. And because of all these things, he seems so far removed from Captain America, where you're kind of like, well, why does he even need to be called Captain America? Why can't he just be Falcon? Why can't he just be his own character? He doesn't really have any identifiable features that make him Captain America, really. All right, and now let me talk about my other little issue with Sam. why won't Sam take the serum? So Sam doesn't want to take the super soldier serum. And honestly, I don't get it. I don't know if this was explained at one point, but it seems like it's an important like little arc because in this movie, Sam is struggling with the idea of maybe taking this serum. I mean, this doesn't happen. This doesn't seem to be an issue until the sometime in the middle of this movie where he's like, you know what, everything just seems way bigger than me. And I feel like I should maybe just take the serum. Maybe that is the best thing for me to do. But then when he has this problem, Bucky comes in and it's like, no, Sam, you don't need to take it. You're better without the serum. I was like, shut up, Bucky. Let him take the serum. It might save his life. Like, he's literally just a man. I'm like, why won't he take it? And the thing is, the film frames this as the moral choice. Like, this is the good choice for him to choose to not take the serum. And I don't really know why. Does he not want to lose the ability to get tipsy or something? Because isn't like that the only downside is you can't get drunk because your body metabolizes the alcohol too fast? Why, Sam? Why won't you want to take the serum? I don't remember if this was addressed in the show, Falcon Winter Soldier show. And like I said, this is like kind of a little character arc for him at one point because he's struggling with deciding like, maybe I should have taken the serum. And then Bucky's like, no, don't take it. Just stay a man. And then we get the showdown between Red Hulk and Sam. And this is where it really bothered me because Sam is just a man, just a dude. He's very highly trained. He's in really good shape. He is wearing Wakandan armor and he has this tech helmet or whatever, but he's just a guy. And there were so many times during this fight where I was like, oh, Sam's dead. Sam just got obliterated. Hasta la vista, Sam. You're gone. You're dead. Every bone in your body has been shattered. They're probably going to have to identify you by your dental records. Like, he takes a hit from a Hulk. And I'm not saying that if you took the super soldier serum, you would be able to take a hit from a Hulk. You still would probably die. Like, Thor can take a hit from the Hulk, but he's like a god. And maybe, I think probably Spider-Man could. But you guys can let me know. Could Spider-Man take a hit from the Hulk? This Marvel Spider-Man. But yeah, even someone who had the super soldier serum probably would still die like getting hit by the Hulk. But if Sam had the serum, I would at least be more willing to accept him being able to kind of survive this encounter. But he's just a dude, and it just bothers me so much because I was like, no, like, this is so dumb. This is such a horrible villain for them to have Red Hulk against Sam Wilson's Captain America. It's very odd. All right. And it's here in this fight that Sam is validated in his decision to not take the serum. Because at one point during this showdown, Sam ends it by, get this, talking to the Red Hulk. He convinces him to stop being a rage monster. Yeah. He's just like, hey, stop. And the Red Hulk's like, okay. So, and this is supposed to be the moment where the movie is showing that Sam doesn't need the serum because he doesn't need to be all strong and a super soldier to win these fights. But the thing is, it doesn't work, especially since a little bit earlier during the showdown, Sam tries doing the same thing and he tries to convince the Red Hulk to chill out, like in the same way too. He uses the same reasoning where he talks about Betty, Red Hulk's daughter. And the Hulk doesn't care, or Red Hulk still doesn't care, doesn't listen to him, and still rages out and tries to kill him and everything. But for some reason, the second time he tries to reason with him, Red Hulk is just like, all right, and stops being a big rage monster. But it's like, well, what if he hadn't stopped being a rage monster? I just don't get it. It's not very cohesive. It's dumb. I don't understand why he doesn't want to take the serum. Sam would be a little bit more interesting if he had taken the serum. It's not even something that's addressed early on. They could have established it early on so that it would at least make a little more sense where that storyline was coming from or why that was something that was brought up later. But yeah, the movie, it doesn't even address this problem or this conflict until sometime in the middle of the movie. Whatever. Do you, Sam. Do whatever you want, I guess. Oh yeah, there's a bad guy in this movie, and he kind of felt a little out of place, and he didn't really work. If they want to make Sam Wilson Captain America, they really honestly need to get him some better villains to face, because this was kind of sad. Okay, and let me just address one more thing before I wrap this up. In this movie, there is the leader of security at the White House. I think that's who she is. And this woman, she is a Black Widow. Like, she was trained to be an assassin, the same as Natasha was. So she's like a really good fighter. So the actress that plays this woman, apparently when this actress was younger, she had cancer and it stunted her growth. So she is probably like the size of like an 11, 13-year-old girl. She's very small. She's very small. She's very petite. And there are scenes where she is beating up grown men, and it looks ridiculous. I'm sorry, you're asking for criticism when you do things like that, because it looks ridiculous. It's not realistic. It would look weird for anybody this tiny to be fighting grown men and flipping them over and stuff like that. And look, I'm not against women being able to be badasses in movies and shows and stuff like that, and being able to beat up men. It's a movie, it's a show. It's fun to watch. But there are things you can do to make it seem a little more realistic. I always use Jessica Biel in Blade Trinity as an example, because she got in real good shape, and she looks like someone that would be able to fight. She looks like somebody who has some strength on her, so it becomes more believable. Or, I haven't heard anybody complain about the Wakandan soldiers, because most of them are in shape, they're tall, they look like somebody that would be able to fight. And so it doesn't look ridiculous when they are fighting men or people that are bigger than them. And no shade to this woman, okay, because I liked her in the movie. I actually think she was fine. They don't show her much. They don't develop her character very much, but she's a good actress, and I wish her the best. This is more Disney's fault. I feel like they almost did this on purpose. I feel like they're just trying to troll us at this point, because it's like, let's find the absolute smallest person we possibly can and have her just kicking ass. I wish the best to this woman. She seems like a very good actress, but that's Disney's fault. She did fine in the movie, but it does look really silly. So when it comes to movies, I think the fate that is worse than being known as a terrible movie is being a movie that is completely forgotten about. And honestly, I think that is the category this movie is going to go into. It's just completely 100% forgettable, and I don't think anybody's ever going to talk about it. And to me, that's worse than just being a terrible movie. Because, at least the horrible movie is remembered to some degree. We're probably always going to remember Madam Web and how horrible it was. And people are still going to talk about it and probably make funny reviews on it and make fun of it. But when you're a movie this inconsequential and this forgettable, that is the worst fate I think a movie can suffer. Just being completely forgotten about. But let me know what you thought about this movie and what you think about the new future projects Disney has in store for Marvel. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you would like to help support my channel. And that's all I really have for today, and I will talk to you guys later.